you like our fancy little intro, Rog?
Ooh, well, hello everyone. How are we? So it's Monday afternoon. It's Monday afternoon, and we're just doing a little bit of a Facebook Live here at the moment to you, audience. If you've got any questions, do get in touch with us. We'd love to hear from you. We are recording for the Weekly Experience podcast, which is out every Friday. So if there's any swearing, we do apologise during the podcast, or any guffs that we make will be edited out in the final post-production of the show, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, we hopefully shouldn't do.
We do behave ourselves, so we don't actually swear, do we? We haven't yet.
I keep them in line. I keep them in line, basically.
Yeah.
So otherwise, they get out of control.
Yeah, okay. But if you do have any questions today, if you're a little bit bored at home at the moment this afternoon, and you're thinking, oh, I'd love to ask them any questions, or if you fancy being a future guest on the show, do get in touch with us. We would love to hear from you. Okay, so do so. Leave us your comments below here. We'd love to see you and with your lovely questions that you have to ask.
And what we'll do is we'll put them up on screen, and we'll answer them, and we'll pause the show when we record, because we're actually recording the show live as we do it anyway for the podcast side. So we'll get a few up, and then we'll take a little break, answer them as questions on the screen for the live streamers, then they get back on the show again.
Yeah, there's a couple of breaks in during the show that we can talk to you guys as well. And yeah, we'll go from there.
So it's kind of like the behind the scenes of everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
So hopefully we try and do it in one take, but
we do mess up, so that's what you'll see, and it's
creative. We're being creative and artistic when that happens.
That's it. And hopefully our stream will be really nice and clear for you guys. Been behaving itself so far, the stream, so it's good. Before we start, we've got the NHS thank you messages, and we've done a video, and we've published it up on Camberley Life at the moment. So if you see it, share it. If you're a local councillor, please share it to your Facebook page and your community groups. If you work for the Surrey Heath Borough Council, please share it on their Facebook page as well, because it's a really nice thing we put together. We're going to show it to you in a sec, so you can get to see what it's like and how it sounds. But look for it on the Camberley Life page. And very soon, if you're not on the Camberley Life page on Farnborough Life or the Basingstoke Life, there'll be one on there for you to share with your councillors and your community as well. So are we all ready for this?
I think so. We've got loads of guests coming up today, by the way. So if you'd like any of the guests, do feel free to add your comments as well. And we'll take those when we can speak to you. Okay? Yeah.
Here's the NHS message for you guys before we start.
The Weekly Experience podcast is all about community and you thanking the NHS.
Hi, I'm Councillor Croke and Deputy Mayor of Surrey Heath, and I just wanted to do a massive shout out and thank you to the NHS. You're doing an awesome job. We're so proud of you and keep it up. Thank you.
Not only the NHS, it was the many key workers across the region that were helping you.
Hi, I'm Tracy Hempton, and I just want to big shout out to not just the NHS, but all the frontline workers, key workers, primary schools. They're doing an amazing job just keeping everything ticking over, and thank you very much.
It's Kathy Richardson, and I want to thank the NHS for keeping us well and keeping us safe. May you have peace, may you be well, and may you live with joy. Thank you.
My name is Henry Fricker. I'm a musician, singer, songwriter and pianist. And this year I would love to thank my manager Stacey, also to thank friends, family and fans.
Hi there, I'm Anna Webb. I'd like to thank everybody within the NHS, but I'd also like to thank all of the people who are working in the testing centres. Having had to use it fairly recently, it was just so efficient. The people working there were just amazing, made you feel very comfortable. And yeah, so I think there's some unsung heroes as well.
Mars Colucci of Colucci's Wines, and we really have to thank the people of the NHS who have been just working flat out around this whole COVID thing, and they've just been inundated with people and having to deal with it and putting their lives on the line every day.
The messages have been flooding in for the NHS.
I'm Sarah, and I would like to say thank you to Katie chaplain who's been working behind the scenes with the NHS and has dedicated a whole year looking after her clients and her patients.
I'm Billy Lyle. I just want to say a big shout out to the NHS. I think you guys are doing an absolutely amazing job, and I think we're all clapping for you, and we're all wishing you the best, and keep doing what you're doing, because it's keeping us all sane and keeping us all together, and you're saving lives, and that's what it's all about. So big shout out to the NHS. Thank you very much.
From the many communities around, the weekly experience, and the many key workers and the NHS, thank you.
Do share and like that particular video. We'd really appreciate that. Okay, it's coming up again in the show, so just be warned of that. And you can see it at the moment on Cambly Life, but it will be showed put onto the other net sites. Am I correct, Jack?
It will go out to all the net sites. So
yeah, indeed. So there you go. Right. Any questions? Do feel free to get in touch with us here at the podcast. We'd love to see you. Right. Should we start, everyone?
Yep. So are you all guys?
Let's get started.
We'll kick the intro in. Here we go.
Welcome to the Weekly Experience podcast, covering Surrey, Hampshire and Berkshire. The show that brings you all the facts about your local area. We are always looking for new guests to talk to us. So if you'd like to come onto our podcast, email us at weeklyexperience@buzzpodcast.co.uk. So sit back and enjoy the Weekly Experience podcast.
So welcome everybody to this week's Weekly Experience. We hear from Debs Morrison from the charity Clasp in Wokingham. Also Ross Smith, a head gardener, joins us for a chat about the gardens. Also Steve Forster tells us why he's a counsellor and picks us a tune as well. An interesting choice from Steve coming up a little bit later on. Trevor Hogg talks to us and tells us what he does for the community of the Old Dean Estate. And Anna joins us from one of the many COVID vaccination centres. Plus also Lisa's here to give some top tips for your hair if you're listening as well. Also, I can tell you today, I messed the intro up already. Sorry, I do apologise. Is it Trevor?
Trevor.
Don't pronounce the F. Trevor. Just Trevor.
Just forget the F.
There you go.
Right. Sorry, everyone. Let's start again. Roll again.
Okay, can start from the beginning. Here we go.
Welcome to the Weekly Experience podcast, covering Surrey, Hampshire and Berkshire. The show that brings you all the facts about your local area. We are always looking for new guests to talk to us. So if you'd like to come onto our podcast, email us at weeklyexperience@buzzpodcast.co.uk. So sit back and enjoy the Weekly Experience podcast.
So welcome everybody to this week's Weekly Experience. We hear from Debs Morrison from the charity Clasp in Wokingham. Ross Smith, a head gardener, joins us for a chat about the garden. Also, Steve Forster tells us why he's a counsellor and picks us a tune, an interesting one coming up from him. Also, Trevor Hogg tells us why he does the community of the Old Dean Estate. Plus also Lisa's here with some advice about your hair. And Anna joins us from one of the many COVID vaccination centres.
Best vaccination for you is the one that you can receive the soonest. So what we don't want is people having in their head that they really want one or the other. And then when they arrive, it's not in stock. I would say best to go for it on the day. Ask questions, of course.
Also, we hear with his 30-second challenge. Marcus joins us for the challenge this week. Jack turns a turn on Unpack the Fact. Also, we thank the NHS in our special kind of way. And we want you to share something on Facebook as well to do with the NHS as well. Plus, also, we have the quiz, which is science-related this week. Ooh. Plus also we have the Mystery Voices, which is up to week number 4. Can you believe that? To win the Amazon vouchers and some great locally produced music.
Enjoying the conversation? Got a story to tell? Then email us now. roger@smjmediagroup.uk. Now back to the conversation.
So then today,
I think he's frozen.
Yeah, so overexcited by it all. He's frozen up for a minute, hasn't he?
There you go. That's live streaming for you. Are you back, Rog?
I'm here.
Okay, right.
You froze for a moment.
I I'll edit that bit in again. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how have we been, team, for the last 7 days? Don't talk over me.
Yeah, no, really good.
So
really
how have we
good.
been, team? Hold on a minute. Oh, no.
The joys of live.
Okay.
He's in connection now, look.
So 7 days have passed. So how have we been?
Yeah, Rod, you have to say that again because your stream's
Hold on a minute.
gone. Yeah, he's just going to reconnect, guys. That's what happened. First time it's actually happened like this, isn't it? Really, it's been pretty good.
No, no.
He's just
Hold on,
pretending.
hold
He's
on.
just his comedic value. This is because he normally just sits there and it all runs through very smoothly, but he's deliberately made it like this.
Try that.
I think
Is that any
that's
better?
Yeah. Okay. Go from that last bit
my
then.
battery was going. Okay. So then, team, how we been for the last 7 days?
Yeah, I've been good, thank you. I've been well. I ridiculously decided to go and buy some painting by numbers. Have you ever done this? Oh my god!
Painting by numbers.
Yeah, it's well. I decided I'm not going to go for the children's one because the spaces were too big and stuff like that.
Just pause a second. I got it in my head. So your kids run around putting numbers on the walls, and then you match where the paints are, and you paint them that color. Yeah.
No, it's just on this like little pad thing. Oh, well, it's on like a piece of paper, and somebody's printed on a picture, and then put different numbers where you color it in different numbers by paint. And it's supposed to teach you, I don't know, how to be calm, but I just end up in a sweat. I'm getting sweaty just thinking about it. But I've got to the point where I'm determined to finish. It's not relaxing for me on any level, but I've got determination on that I am going to get this thing done. But I must have been doing it for about 20 hours so far.
How many numbers have you got to color?
Well, there's about 45, I think. I don't know. It's difficult to answer it like that, but I may, when one of the interviews is on, go and get the picture and just show you close up.
Yeah,
but so I'd be interested to see. A lot of people, they sell a lot of them, so people must like doing it, and it is nice, but it's not calming for my nature. I'm a little bit more free flowing, and this is. Anyway, Jack.
That reminds me of my flat painting. I haven't done a lot this week. Just like again, Netflix, Amazon Prime, those sort of boring things. You know, I have been chilling, relaxing. You know, so yeah, so not really much. Can't go out much. It's getting pretty like I'm itchy to go out and meet people. You know.
Well, we're waiting to see what's going to be said, aren't we? So it'd be interesting.
It's going to be extended. I really have that feeling it's going to be extended, but we should see.
We just have to wait. Me, I visited the Window Wonderland at the weekend, which was great, which is in my little area here that I'm living in Bristol at the moment, which is where people decorate their windows. They get like see-through colored paper, and then they make a little collage to put up in their windows, and then they get the lights shining through, which was great. I've got some pictures, actually, I can show you guys, which I'm going to kind of give the idea to a few local people over your way, basically. So hopefully some of the councils can do some very bits and pieces. I know if Sarah Jane, if you are listening to this, Sarah Jane Croak would love this idea. Great initiative to get people to do stuff. Plus also it got people out in the streets as well. It was only between 6 and 9 on Saturday and Sunday evening. And it was just a great little atmosphere that people were there walking around, keeping a safe distance from each other, for instance, but looking at the lovely creations that people had put in their windows. So I thought that was really good.
Do you have to be artistic then? The pictures that you sent over Messenger, they are fantastic. They're really good. But I'm thinking, how can I do that in my window? I couldn't necessarily because I'm not that artistic.
Well, you don't have to do it. It's up to you if you wanted to do it or not. You know, there was no stipulation that you had to do it, for instance. So if you didn't want to do it, if you just wanted to, you know, I don't know, put some coloured lighting. There was a couple of people that just had some coloured lighting up in their window, for instance, which was great because it looks just really, really effective. You know, it's pitch dark. We've got the windows here. That's what it is because they're quite Victorian kind of windows for people to look at. So it's not the kind of the modern shape windows that you get with new builds, for instance. So I think it's all to do with that kind of makes it for you. But I know there's some great areas in Surrey, Berkshire and Hampshire that could do similar sort of things and we could have readapted it for over there. So I'm just throwing it out there. That's something that we could do in our region.
A little video campaign, see if people will follow it. That'd be quite interesting.
So there you go. Plus, also I went for a nice little walk yesterday too, which was great. So there you go. And so I feel a lot better. So it's been a good 7 days since we last spoke on the podcast, which is great. So should we get underway with the show today?
Yes.
Right. Press the button.
It's time to unpack the fact. Unpacked the fact.
True, false, false, true, true, false, false, true.
Now, we've had some interesting ones over the last couple of weeks. Beverly, who was doing skating on ice, which was a total lie. There was me being arrested by the police. Well, not necessarily being arrested by the police, but being surrounded by a load of police cars and police dogs and policemen, for instance, when they thought my car had been stolen. So we've had a turn of it recently. So it's time for Jack to unpack the fact.
I've changed it this week because it's not on a story, but it's actually got some questions for you. So here we go.
Oh.
Well, Rog, I thought this week we'd change it slightly. Still true and false type questions, and I have seven for you. So here we go. So the first one: a woman in Sydney complained of vibrations from her new iPhone gave her an orgasm on the bus. A tree planted in the honour of Lake George Harrison was killed by beetles. A 9-year-old boy in South Africa married a 62-year-old woman. A Russian astronaut claimed he saw a ghost on the International Space Station. A build-up of gas from cows sparked a methane explosion at a building in Germany. Tesco's in the UK refused to sell a teaspoon to a 16-year-old boy, telling him he was too young to buy it. And a vet in Portland removed 43 socks from the stomach of a dog. Now, change the game slightly. More answers at the end of the show, so start thinking about them. And how many can you get right?
Oh, we got to turn to detective me and you, Bev, today.
Yeah, we're stunned into silence, aren't we? There's quite a lot of information to absorb. One thing I took away from that immediately was the 43 socks in a dog's stomach for some reason. Is that true or false? So you want us to answer each of one of those statements,
Yeah,
whether
so
they're true or false.
Yeah, so at the end of the show, we'll go through them one by one. You can let me know what you think, and I can write those down before we can reveal who won.
So some of them are true and some of them are absolutely false, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to have to break them down in the middle of the show, I think, a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I do as well. It's quite a lot of information there, isn't there, for on a Monday? How can we absorb that?
Oh, dear me.
A twist, see, so just a bit more interesting, you know?
Oh, dear me. So well, we've given each one and Jack's given 7.
If I put one up, it'd be too short, wouldn't it?
True, very true. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well,
I could put more up there, but I thought they're the really interesting ones.
Can you read those out one by one then, and we can contemplate it during the show? Just read.
Okay, read one. A woman in Sydney complained vibrations from her new iPhone gave her an orgasm on the bus. A tree planted in honour of the late George Harrison was killed by beetles. A 9-year-old boy in South Africa married a 62-year-old woman. A Russian astronaut claimed he saw a ghost on the International Space Station. A build-up of gas from cows sparked methane explosion at a building in Germany. Tesco's in the UK refused to sell a teaspoon to a 16-year-old boy, telling him he was too young to buy it. And a vet in Portland removed 43 socks from the stomach of a dog.
There's a lot to take in there, isn't there?
There is. I'm writing it down in good old Beverly fashion. I write these things down so that I can just refer to.
Bever's our secretary, aren't you, really?
Well, not if you saw what I'd written. I put 9 years, 62 years, ghost, build up, spoon. And the last one was dog. Okay.
I think we'll just break it down one by one when we go through them.
That's fine.
And we can just say, yes, that's true.
Yeah,
that's
thanks, Jack. Thanks, Jack.
You just put all that together, see? Nice little intro. I've even done the answers. I've done 3 answers, so it could be the outcome.
Are any of them true?
There's a mixture.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't want to put them all to be one because you could just easily guess all straight through. So I'll mix it a bit. See.
Okay. Right, that's Unpack the Fact today then. It's Jack cheating today, basically, because he's got somebody else to do his work for him. But there you go. Anyway.
Yeah, artistic license from Jack.
Yeah, thank you, Jack. Right, let's get underway then. Today, let's start with Debs from the charity CLASP. I've got to ask you, Debs, first of all, what does it stand for?
Caring, Listening and Support Partnership. We're a local Wokingham-based charity supporting adults with learning disabilities speak up for themselves, so a self-advocacy charity. And what we do is we all work together to try and make a positive difference to our community for those with learning disabilities and anyone else that's vulnerable.
Now, why did you get involved with the charity in the first place then?
So I was leaving a full-time commercial role and looking for something to do, and it was just a fate, I suppose. I was looking for a job and this job came up. They'd done a bit of interviewing, but I was fortunate that the company secretary, Jenny, saw my CV and didn't think, oh, she's overqualified, we don't want her, which often happens, and gave me the opportunity for an interview. I was interviewed by Jenny and one of the learning disability members, and it just went really well, and they offered me the job the next day, which was fantastic. It all worked really well. I couldn't start for 3 months, which was a difficult one because obviously as a charity things move quickly. So the company secretary stepped in to do the job while I was waiting to finish my previous role. But I couldn't believe the change in my life doing this. Obviously money's very different and the hours are different, but it gives me so much pleasure. I love my job and I don't think I've said that for a long, long time in my career. So I'm very, very fortunate. Our trustees are made up of 50-50, those with learning disabilities and those not with learning disabilities. So yeah, Jenny's been sort of the mainstay throughout the whole of the charity, I think.
Well, that's great that you get some support from the council then.
Well, under the 2005 Care Act, they have to provide provisions for those with learning disabilities in the borough, and they gave the contract to CLASP to provide that service for them. But they also used to run the Learning Disability Partnership Board within the council, and they decided to outsource that, and we won the contract to do that as well. So we're in a very fortunate position, and we do a good job. So they've put their money in safe hands, and we provide a good service.
In simple terms, then, so what would somebody who needed your help receive? What would the process be?
Oh, it's self-referral, although we do get referrals from social workers and community mental health teams and such, but it's self-referrals, and we're a signposting service as well as anything else. So when people come to us, they have to fill in a membership form. Membership's free, but that really covers us for GDPR and taking their photos and those sorts of things. And they would be able to join currently our Zoom meetings twice a week. We have volunteering opportunities, so some of them would help work in the office. And we have a few of them actually work for us. So we employ 3 members with learning disabilities for 2 hours each a week. So one does our website, another helps in our coffee shop when it's running, and another does office admin for us. And they get to meet a bunch of like-minded people. But we've been approached by so many different organisations now for our views and opinions on various matters, or for support in understanding how the learning disability community will be impacted by certain projects, that they are all very much campaigners for a positive difference in our community. So they get a lot of opportunities to have their voice heard and a lot of opportunities to shape the Wokingham Borough. So it's excellent.
Now, how many are you supporting at the moment, Debs?
So for our members, we currently have about 130 members, and for our Learning Disability Partnership Board, we have over 240, I think. So the partnership board is made up of a lot of professionals as well that are interested in what's going on within the learning disability community, as well as people with learning disabilities and their carers and their supporters.
So how have you found the last year or so with COVID? It's
been very different. It's been very challenging, especially for the members, because obviously it's really affected their mental health, and they don't all understand the social distancing, the lack of control in their life. It's been tough. It has been tough. there's no saying not. But the positives that have come out of it are the fact that, lots of them now have increased their IT skills, as have I.
So what do you think the members take away from some of these calls that you do, and how you keep them amused and entertained?
Oh, well, first of all, they just love seeing each other. So on Friday, we had another one of our long-standing members managed to get onto Zoom. He got himself a little laptop, so and the internet, which is obviously required, and he couldn't connect properly, so he could see us but he couldn't hear us, and it was quiet, and I rung him on the phone to try and help him, but I couldn't, and he just said it was lovely because he could see everybody. But we do, Roger, you've been with us to see our choir. We do our choir still every other Friday. We got a grant from Get Berkshire Active, and we now do dancing to music once a month on a Tuesday. We've really just push the boundaries with what we're doing. We're still planning. That's one of the things that as a team we've carried on doing all through lockdown. We've carried on planning. We've carried on pushing ahead. We've done our year's events, our calendar for the whole year. That's really important because then we're always looking forward.
And where can people find you when they're listening to this podcast?
So we have a website, which is www.wokinghamclasp.org.uk, or they can email us at admin@clasp.wokingham.org.uk.
The lovely Debs Morrison joining us from CLASP today. You can hear the full interview. If you look down to the bottom of the podcast here, it gives you all the details, because the chat with Debs went on for about 10 to 12 minutes or so. But that was just a small little bit that we had on the weekly experience. By the way, the charity is all the W's at wokinghamclasp.org.uk. Okay, it's on the weekly experience extra bits that we're going to be doing as well. So there you go. So Debs, thank you very much indeed for joining us today, and the very best of luck for the charity as well. Lovely lady. So should we have some music on the podcast, ladies and gentlemen? This is called Totally Fixed, isn't it, Jack? Where you discovered this. Where did you discover this, first of all?
It just come up on my Facebook page, and it was like, this is really fun. And it suits lockdown, because we're in lockdown, and it put a smile on people's faces. It's run by a family, and it's including all the family. And it's quite good. They have got a YouTube channel as well, so we can put all the details in the description after the show. And if you're listening on podcast, it'll be in the details below. You can go and have a look over there and see what other things they've been doing in lockdown. But this is absolutely brilliant. It's been trending quite well.
So this is Totally Fixed by the Marshall family.
Yes. Here we go.
Third lockdown 2021, and it's a little bit lonely, no one's ever coming round. Third lockdown 2021, we bet we'd all be outside, but I'm still listening to the sound of their tears. Third lockdown. Every day I'm treated like I offer room service, but they mess it in the blink of an eye. Third lockdown. Every now and then we get a little bit terrified of when we think she's gonna let fly. Third lockdown, time flies. Struggling to tell the days apart. Third lockdown, time flies. Feels as if we're only at the start, but we've grown a lot in height. There's no way for us to measure, and if you look up all the time, we've been eating more than ever. All these friends must be harming our side, 'cause we're on all day long. Together we once limited the hours of life, and someone's got the extra fun on all of the time. I don't know what to do, we're working bits and starts, we're sitting in pajamas making Cassie remote. We're really feeling our time. Now that looks like a building site. That looks like a building site. Once upon a time we could travel abroad, now we barely get in the car. There's nothing we can do, we're totally fixed where we are. Once upon a time we went hiking for miles, now we can't be asked with apart. Nothing nothing we can say. We're totally fixed where we are. Used to be bright eyes, struggling to tell the days apart.
It feels as if we're right back at the start.
And we leave on all the lights. And we leave on close the doors in winter. Dad said you something black and white. If we only we've been through with being the printer. And we'll always be picking up our will never be wrong. Together we have planted all our parents' red lives. Physically older, but in mental decline. Mental decline. We won't go back to school until the 8th of March. Just sitting in our dressing gowns and giving our parts. Really feeling alright. That's the age that never hibernate. Forever in a lockdown.
Once upon a time we were singing Les Mis, but now it's 80 songs from the charts.
Nothing we can say, we're totally fixed where we are. We're totally fixed where we are. We're totally fixed where we are. Lord of the Flies.
Oh, I love it. The Marshall Family and Totally Fixed. By the
love
way,
that.
there were some lovely comments when they posted that video out from Bonnie Tyler as well, who had the original Total Eclipse of the Heart back in the 80s. So thanks to Ant for letting me just know that, by the way. So yeah, great. Yeah.
It was really good. You know, apart from anything else, every single one of them could sing. And then they rearranged the words to make them phenomenally funny and appropriate. And it was really, really good watching. So thanks for sharing that, Jack.
That's all right. Dad had a very deep voice, though. He hit those low notes, didn't he?
He did. I am super impressed. I just kind of wonder what I've been doing with my time.
And for Monday, it sort of put a great smile on our faces.
Yeah, absolutely great. So the Marshall Family and Totally Fixed on the podcast for today. So thanks, Jack, for that. Right, let's continue on the show, ladies and gentlemen. And, you know, I said I needed a haircut.
I do, and I would totally agree with you. I've actually got somebody here who can help you.
Well, you agree with me for a change?
I know it's unusual and the listeners can't actually see, but I do think you are in need of a slight haircut, just a little bit. But I've got somebody here who can help.
Oh, okay. Who have you got?
I have Lisa. She's a local mobile hairdresser, and she goes by Hair by Lisa. So hi, Lisa.
Hello.
How are you? Thanks for coming along. Help sort him out with us.
Oh, no problem at all. It sounds like you're in dire need.
Roger, over to you.
Yeah, I am in dire need. No, I don't want to just keep it to me that needs help here. I want to keep it to, because most people, I've chatted to lots of people over the last couple of weeks, and they say the one person that they are missing during this third lockdown or fourth lockdown, well, it doesn't matter how many lockdowns that we've had, are missing a hairdresser, basically. And you are the savior, basically, but you can't do anything.
No, our hands on scissors are tied at this moment, which is really sad. I know a lot of my clients have resorted to husbands doing their hair or wives doing their hair. Even my parents, because I can't form a bubble with them, I've had to give tips via FaceTime to my dad so he can cut my mum's fringe. So.
Well, that's really useful, actually. I love that, and that's exactly why we wanted you to come on, to give us tips, because I mean, it's too late for me because I actually cut my fringe straight across. I've had a few comments, but as luckily, like, we're doing it audio, so some tips for that kind of thing, or how to manage it, because I think it's probably going to be a while still before we can actually get to enjoy a lovely haircut.
Yes, and you know, I think the best thing to say is hair grows, it grows back, it's fine. Whatever you're going to do, it can be fixed, it will grow back. You might look awful, but of course at the moment we're not seeing very many people. You can put a hat on, it's cold outside, it's fine, but don't do anything too drastic. A little fringe trim is fine. If your husband's hair needs a little trim, there are some great videos and how-tos that you can watch on YouTube, which will give you basic information on how to do a quite basic cut. Everyone's got a bit of the skill, but you know, just try not to do something that's going to make you look awful on those Zoom meetings. But
You do have to have sharp scissors, though, don't you? In the first lockdown, we actually had a pair of hairdressing scissors, which have mysteriously disappeared, because my daughter did mine and I did hers, and suddenly they disappeared. I'm not sure whether that's intentional or not. She did get a comment, like when she went back to work, her work colleague said, "Your hair is crooked at the back." And since then we lost our scissors at home. But what happens if you haven't got anybody with you, you know, and you have to do something yourself, like Roger or me?
I think I know a couple of people, one person in particular, a famous person, Dr. Alex, who is now doing stuff for mental health with the government. He had cut his own hair. I've had friends who have men who have cut their own hair. They've got clippers, they've got beard trimmers, and they've just gone for it. I mean, it's ballsy, because I wouldn't be doing that, and I know what I'm doing, so I wouldn't be doing it on myself. But yeah, I mean, if you're brave and you don't mind, men, it's a lot easier, I think, because like if you go wrong, you can shave it off. It's fine. It's not going to take so long to get back. Ladies with long hair, not so good. But yeah, I mean, for Rog, maybe trimming around the ears is a good idea when you've got short hair. That's
Keeps my ears warm, Lise.
Your furry neck probably needs going if you get someone to help you with that. But yes, a good, and also using a good brush and a good shampoo is also helpful too. Just embrace the locks that you've got.
Right.
And what have you done? What have you done, Roger? Have you done anything based on Lisa's advice?
I've just done some on the podcast. What more do you want?
Please don't.
Well, where is it? I mean, I've been involved in live streams and other podcasts and things where people have shaved their hair off completely.
Can you
And
see
you've
that?
done that?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a start, isn't it?
To be honest, if you trimmed and trimmed, I don't think we'll see much. You can't really get away with, because it's all curly hair, isn't it?
I
My
quite
hair
like
isn't-
it, I
my-
have to say.
My hair isn't curly.
If I start chopping mine now, it'll look weird because it's like my hair's just straight, you know. I don't need to cut mine, I'm losing it anyway. No, it's just completely going.
How would you describe your hair then, Roger, if it's not curly?
Straight.
Straight? Your hair is
Hmm.
not straight. Look at Jack's is straight. Mine is straight. You've got cute little curly bits in the middle.
Yeah, but it only gets curly when it gets longer.
I think it suits you like that. I think maybe a little bit at the side off and kind of tiny little bit there. But I think keep it longer on the top and short on the sides when you get the opportunity.
We should all shave our hair, shall we?
No.
Next week we're all bald.
No, I'm not doing that.
Right. Time to move on, apart from my hair, ladies and gentlemen, on the podcast. Time to challenge some more of you lots with a 30-second ad challenge. This is Marcus. How are you, sir?
Very well, Roger. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, sir. So the company you're representing today, please?
It's called Sani Arch Limited. It's a full body sanitising system.
Oh, okay. Right. So what we're going to do with you, my friend, is we've been doing this over the last couple of weeks or so on the Weekly Experience, is getting people to talk about themselves or their company within 30 seconds. How do you know how long 30 seconds can be?
Ooh, I better get a watch in front of me.
Well, it's up to you.
Wouldn't want to go over, would I?
Well, it's up to you. If you want to do it all professional and get your little watch there, it's entirely up to you, my friend.
Roger, we got a cheater here.
Well, yeah, you could say that, Jack. Actually, somebody that's being a bit professional is Marcus here on the podcast, which is great.
I can see Jack smiling away at me, though. You know, it's making me nervous.
So, what we're going to do is we're going to give you 30 seconds on the clock, or you got your watch there, and you have to sell yourself. Now, the importance thing of getting an advert across is basically getting the important facts in, but don't forget to get the contact. Because if you do go over 30 seconds, I'm afraid to say the klaxon will go off and you get cut off. Is that fair enough?
That sounds fair enough.
Right. So, Marcus, within 30 seconds, will you sell yourself? 3, 2, 1.
Hello, I'm Marcus. I work for Sani Arch Limited, which is a full body sanitising system that is out there to help against the COVID crisis. It's a walk-in, walk-out system that you get misted in an anti-COVID spray that will help get businesses and the economy back open. My name's Marcus. The company's called saniarch.co.uk. Please get in touch.
I forgot to start my stopwatch.
I think he's within it. Yeah, could be a winner here.
I think that was about 25.
Well done, Marcus. You turned the tables on them there. I love it.
Have I done it? Jenny, I couldn't have done that if I was talking about myself.
So that was Marcus having a go on the 30-second ad challenge. But this is to come soon. When we mean 30 seconds, we mean 30 seconds to sell yourself or your business. Some people don't get the idea of 30 seconds. Do they, Mandy?
Hi, I'm Mandy Dinley from My Beautiful Pen. I'm a creative writer in Fleet. I work with brides for their weddings. I do their wedding readings and help with their speeches. I love what I do. I do special gifts for milestone birthdays in wordy form, mostly in bespoke verse form. And I love what I do. I also hold online workshops at the moment, helping you to get your creative going, which involve poetry sessions and writing.
When challenged about going over 30 seconds, she kind of denies it.
And what did I do? 31.5?
No. Have another guess.
Was I looking at different timings? Did I look at, because you asked me to do two things, and one was one time and one was another.
Mandy, stop making excuses.
2 minutes.
Stop making excuses. Stop making
I'm not
excuses.
making excuses. I'm being honest.
Let's leave it to the experts. Ben Kench.
513009 or ben@benkench.com. Let me help.
And what is it about Mandy's going over 30 seconds? This is another Mandy Fleming taking liberties.
And a healthy brain is a healthy person.
Did I go on for long?
You're such a... Rika, how long do you think that was?
It felt like it was a good minute.
So stay tuned to the Weekly Experience and find out how these develop in the next few weeks on the Weekly Experience.
Yes, I can.
No. That's one of the new rules.
Oh, Roger, stop it. You're winding
This is what I mean, that he's going Hitler.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. There's more next week on the podcast, on the 30-second ad challenge, by the way. We may include one of the Mandys next week. Okay, so
we do love it, don't you? We do love that.
Right, team, it's time to speak to local councillor Steve Forster, who's from Hampshire. He represents Hampshire and Hart District, where he's on the council. He joins us on this week's podcast. So, first of all, how are you, Steve? Steve Forster, local Fleet councillor. Hello to you. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Nice to meet you.
How you been coping with lockdown? I ask this question to everyone that I interview when we start, because everyone's got different stories to tell. Have you been coping with this?
Yeah, it's not been easy. I think it's not been easy for most people. I was unfortunate enough to lose my sister very early on back in April. So actually doing the hands, face, space, etc. is really important to me, and it's annoying when I see some of the people that are flouting the rules. But actually, we've been very fortunate through the rest of the lockdown. We've had a good time. My wife has spent pretty much the last year at home isolating. I have mostly. My daughter had a little baby girl, so that went really smoothly. The clinicians over at Frimley Park Hospital did an amazing job for her. So we've had some downsides and we've had some upsides. It's been okay.
Turning into grandparents, that's a blessing, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure I'm not old enough. Not yet.
So what has the lockdown brought to you? So any positives, obviously, apart from that you've just mentioned?
From a community viewpoint, it has been phenomenal how the community across Hampshire, and particularly in Fleet, have really pulled together. We've had some issues where we've been asking for volunteers, for instance, for the vaccination centres and so on. Do you know the one problem we've had is too many people volunteering? That's a real high-class problem. And it's been delightful, and we've accommodated it, and things have been set up. We have a local COVID aid group, independent from the council, that did their own fundraising, have been providing hot cooked meals with the support of a local hotel. It's just been amazing to be part of it and help stimulate it.
I think it was a case of everyone wanted to do something. Everyone didn't want to be lazy, did they?
You're absolutely right. Some of them didn't want to be lazy. A lot of people were either furloughed or working from home and suddenly had 2 or 3 hours a day spare. And they wanted to put that back to helping others. And that's lovely. It's really nice to see.
I do think that a lot of people have realised the importance of community over this last year. I know everybody can do that throwaway sentence, community is important, but actually since last March, people have realised more and more the importance of the local community, whether it's Fleet, whether it's Camberley, whether it's anywhere. And people come out of the woodwork, and like you say, you've been inundated with help. That's great, isn't it? So where has this love of all things council come from? What's the story? Why did you decide to get started?
It's quite an odd one, I guess, for me, in that I've not been into politics at all. I mean, I've always voted because I think not voting is a waste. But about 7-8 years ago, my daughter, when she was just coming up to 18, decided that she wanted to stand for election. And I said I'd support her. And about halfway through her campaign, she said, well, there's actually, it's an odd story. My daughter decided when she was just coming up to 18 that she wanted to stand for election locally for the district council. And I said I'd help her, and she persuaded me. Took her a little while, persuaded me to stand alongside her. There were a couple of seats up for grabs, and fortunately we both got elected. Regrettably, she actually got about 7 more votes than I did, but she moved out of the areas. She's no longer a councillor. However, I really enjoyed it. I really felt that I was able to help the area improve and contribute. I got on really well with the residents and focused on improving communications. And after 3 years of doing that, I got the opportunity to run, instead of just as a district councillor, to run as a county councillor. And I've been doing that as a twin hatter, as they call it, in both roles ever since. I'm actually up for re-election this May, and I'm really going for it. I'm truly enjoying it and the difference I can make for people.
So what's the one thing, just give us one thing that you love about being a councillor?
Communicating. So many people weren't aware of what the council did or what the councils did. We've got 3 levels of council: county, district and parish. They didn't understand what they were what each was responsible for. And a lot of it was hidden meetings behind closed doors, closed council meetings. To me, communicating was a real necessity. And I focused on actually giving that information. And that's what I constantly do through my Facebook, through my tweets, and doing things like getting the council to actually televise all its meetings.
Thank you, Steve, for that. There's more from him coming up a little bit later on, by the way. He comes back for a little bit of a chat about music, which is an interesting conversation, let me say. I'm not going to spoil it, but yeah, Steve picks a track, and you can hear the full interview at buzzpodcast.co.uk. We'll give you the link on the bottom of the podcast, down the bottom.
What I liked about that, actually, and because we're trying to get quite a few counsellors on, aren't we? So if there's any counsellors out there or anybody knows any counsellors, we'd love to talk to everybody. And it's not anything to do with party politics. It's about the man behind the role or the woman behind the role and community issues that are non-party, like they're just things to do with the community. But it's about realising that counsellors are people too.
And then they've got lots of fun projects they're doing as well. So it'd be nice to know what they're getting involved with, you know.
So if you want to hear some of the projects that Steve is behind at the moment, I suggest that you listen to another podcast of ours, which is available. All the links are at the bottom of this description. Right, let's crack on. Time for today's quiz, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, today's quiz. Science Week is happening at the beginning of March, by the way.
Okay.
3 related questions to do with science.
Okay. At this point, I'd just like to say I did fail my O-level physics twice.
Right. Okay. Is that your excuse?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my excuse.
What's your excuse?
We got a posh bed, didn't we? O levels.
That reminds me, actually, I haven't done on the podcast yet my weekly school report, have I?
No, you haven't.
No. Yeah.
We need to do that.
I do have it to hand, but I'm not going to do it right now. So we'll save that for another podcast.
So give us the questions, Rog.
Okay, there's 3 related questions to do with science. You've got 3 multiple choices today, just to narrow it down a little bit. Number 1, in which modern day country was the physicist and the chemist Marie Curie born? Was it A, Poland, B, Germany, or C, England? English. Okay.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Right, number 2. Which is the largest internal organ in the human body? Is it the heart, is A, B, the lung, or C, the liver? Just looking at your faces, just checking your faces. Number 3. Percy Spencer invented which time-saving kitchen appliance? Was it A, the kettle? Was it B, the microwave oven? Or was it C, the toaster?
Okay.
I kind of like these questions. I like all the questions every week because whatever else happens, we kind of learn something.
Well, just remember, I'm just getting people prepared for Science Week, which is, I think, for 10 days, as I said, at the beginning of March. So I'll just rattle through those questions again. In which modern-day country was the physicist and chemist Marie Curie born? Was it A, Poland, B, Germany, C, English or England? Number 2, which is the largest internal organ in the human body? Is it the heart, the lung, or the liver? And Percy Spencer invented which time-saving kitchen appliance? Was it the kettle, the microwave oven, or was it the toaster? Those are your 3 science-related questions for today. Right.
And revealing those mystery voices.
Time for the mystery voices. So, how are we getting on with the mystery voices? Any inklings, you two?
Only the ones I've said previously. I've got no idea about the first one.
A couple of you are coming up with a couple more answers and solutions to the mystery voices, which I'll reveal a little bit later on. But for now, Jack, play the voices.
Very proud of this one. Yeah, definitely. Yes. It's, I guess it brings a couple of my passions together, one of which is the 3D thing itself.
Ed is on this next card. I haven't got a sound effect for him, but I have heard impressions of him, which go something like this. So there you are.
From the time I was a kid. So whenever it was, we worked on it. If it was St. Patrick's Day, I had a leprechaun outfit at like 9 years old, and my dad had interviewed me. And
so those are 3 mystery voices. Your chance to win the Amazon voucher for us. You've got to get 3 out of 3 to get the voucher. By the way, you can't just come up with one answer. You have to have 3 out of 3 to get it right for today. So there you go. Those are our mystery voices. We'll give you another recap a little bit later on. Right, still to come on the podcast, we have Jack's Unpack the Fact, a recap of that. Plus also we'll hear from Ross Smith, a head gardener, and Anna, who works in a Coven vaccination centre as well. All to come up next on the Weekly Experience.
At Caleb's Coffee, we've tried to be different to other coffee shops. Our artisan coffee is locally roasted. Our homemade cakes are, made locally. Our milk comes from local farms, and our staff are local too. People of Fleet have been raving about Caleb's Coffee on Facebook. Find out what it's all about. You can catch us every Tuesday to Saturday at Church Crookham Community Centre. Find out more details on our Facebook and Instagram page at Caleb's Coffee UK.
Caleb's Coffee.
calebscoffee.co.uk.
Across Berkshire, Hampshire, Surrey.
Bramble, do you want a word?
It's the Weekly Experience.
So welcome everyone on Facebook Live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. A couple of interesting comments. Thanks, Ant, for saying that I'm making snowflakes. And he thought
at least he recognised them.
And he thought the quiz questions were really easy because he didn't do science at school, but he knows the 3 answers.
Oh, does he? And message me that I haven't said that.
Yeah, no cheating, Beverly, please.
Yeah, I'd like him to do that. Look, can I show you these? Look,
go on then. What are you showing us?
This is my painting by numbers.
Okay, go on then.
To
for the people listening to our podcast, we'll put the we'll scan it and put it up on the page.
Oh my word!
Yeah.
So that's you have to do that, and this is what it is currently.
Oh my word!
Oh, we see.
See what I mean? So you have to have all sorts of amazing amounts of patience that I haven't got. I have patience, but turns out not dotting bits of paint on these. But
so
it does.
How many numbers are there then?
I don't know how many. I don't actually know how many numbers there are. Maybe about 50, or I've no idea. But that's kind of it. So if you fill in the big bits first,
that's more than 50 there.
It's a modern way of doing like a jigsaw puzzle, isn't it?
47 there. It's definitely more than 50.
Yeah. Have you got any idea what you think it might be?
Yeah, it looks like New York City with taxi cabs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
when I first started, I thought it was Bev's brain, sort of like all scattered and,
Yeah, it's that probably is a bit like my brain, frazzled, interesting, different colours, and thinking outside the box.
Well, take a picture of those and we can put up on the for the podcast to have a
okay.
Take some pictures, and then next week we'll see it as you've done more. Yes, you can opposite going to do more.
Oh gosh, okay, yeah, I am determined to get it finished, but don't even talk to me. The washing isn't done. Washing up for the dinner's not done. Nobody gets any dinner. The animals don't get fed.
Poor children.
I can paint my little dots on my painting my numbers.
I bet kids say to them, Mum, you spend too much time with Roger and Jack, you should be tidying the house up.
Well, luckily most of them have moved out, so
that's right.
It's just you and me, boys.
We're good behaviour boys.
Well,
see, you've always wanted boys as to look after, haven't you?
Really? Well, I've got daughters, obviously, as you know, and I didn't realise boys were going to be quite like you two.
In a good way or a bad way, Beverly?
In your own unique ways.
Okay.
We should move in with Bev, then we'll save ourselves money, wouldn't we?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but then you could cook the dinners while I'm doing my dots.
Should be cursing us.
But you know what you get from Jack? You get Uncle Ben's and a tin of curry.
Easy.
You'll have something more elaborate with me if I did it for you.
Oh yeah, okay then.
So who are you going to choose? You're going to choose Jack, or you're going to choose me?
Well, I'll have to contemplate. You both have to put forward a proposal.
Do you have a garden?
I've got a garden, yeah.
You got green things.
Yeah.
I suppose you've got green fingers.
Yeah, you've got green fingers.
Green fingers? What do you mean?
They grow
what,
things easily.
What, for the garden?
Yeah. It's a garden thing, isn't it?
Oh, no, I don't do the garden. I don't mind cutting the grass. That's fine.
Well, she might have to get Ross involved, didn't he? He's a gardener.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, let's get Ross involved. He'll tell us how to do everything.
Yeah, exactly. He's coming up on the podcast in a minute. Just, I like what you're thinking there. That's good. I like it. Yeah, good. By the way, if you've got any questions for us on Facebook, do you get in touch? Somebody popped up and said hi to us just a minute ago, didn't they?
Yeah.
Who was that?
And yeah, there we go.
Hi, Vedant. Nice to have
Vedant.
you here.
And
where are you from, Vedant?
I'm not helping you cheat, Bev, says Anthony.
Well done, Anthony. Well done. Got to keep it square now. If you are listening and you do know the mystery voices, I would say keep them to yourself because you might be giving answers to other people. Like these two, for instance.
We're not in it anymore, but if anybody wants to message me with £5,000, I'll tell you one of them. No, obviously I'm joking. Obviously I'm joking because I'm not open to bribery.
So if you've got any questions for us or any comments about us, feel free. If you don't like the show, tell us. Not a lot we can do about it, my friends.
Which is having fun with me.
Dear. And my hair's getting shorter.
Well, you've been trimming it in the show.
I've been trimming it during the show, yeah.
This much?
No, plenty. Can't find the hair now, actually. Anyway, should we crack on with the show?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Welcome back, everyone, to this week's weekly experience. It's time to recap, unpack the fact. Jack, just go through. You've given us 7 of them. Can you tell us 3 of them? And me and Bev kind of do it together. Go on.
All right. I was hoping to play the thing again. Okay. Thanks. Okay. The first 3 ones. I'll give you the first 3 ones. Yeah. And then, yeah.
Okay.
A woman in Sydney complained that the vibrations from her new iPhone gave her an orgasm on the bus.
True.
A tree planted to the honour of late George Harrison was killed by beetles.
I think that's true because it's so ridiculous.
A 9-year-old boy in South Africa married a 62-year-old woman.
That's got to be false.
I think that's true.
No, it would be horrendous if it was true. That's just not allowed.
Interesting answers on you guys. I'm going to tell you just yet.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, there's 4 more that we've got to suss out, Bev. Yeah, you realise this?
It's supposed to be one story about one person.
Well, change it a little bit. A bit of fun facts as well, you know.
No, okay.
Could be true, could be false.
Right then. Any thoughts? Do get in touch with us.
Yeah, if anybody goes and knows any answers, everybody, that's not cheap. It's grayer. It's grayer. His hair is grayer.
Thanks, Gary. Appreciate that. Right. Let's continue then, ladies and gentlemen. Just before the break, see what we did there? We had Steve Foster with his, Steve Forster, I should say, with his musical. Sorry, do that slowly.
Start again.
Thanks, Jack. Right. Before we hear from Steve Forster with his music choice, let's hear from Ross Smith, who's a head gardener at a big estate. So what do you have there?
We've got, so in the formal gardens, we've got a rose garden, we've got a Japanese garden, we've got a herb garden, about 5 acres of perennial flowers and different flower borders. We've got a vegetable patch as well. So, yeah, I mean, ultimately I have the say in what the guys do on a day-to-day basis. And from each year to the next, that changes given the client, whether they want to expand the border, they want to put in a new seating area, they want to enhance an area that is wild but make it more acceptable and more allowing the wildlife to thrive, and then blending the two together so it isn't just a manicured formal garden and then you open a gate and it looks like your local woodland or a local, country park. So yeah, for me, having the sort of difference in areas, you could be in completely separate gardens. So that, from my point of view, is really good. It's not just one garden, it's more 3 or 4 different smaller gardens on the same site. So it's different every day.
So what are some of the challenges you face?
For us, being by the river is a big challenge. So we are susceptible to flooding. High water means soggy ground. We've got the weather changing. One year April is boiling hot, the next year it's bitterly cold. But that's, again, what I love about my job is dealing with the elements, dealing with the changes in the environment.
So how many people are you looking after as head gardener?
And we've got two under gardeners below me, and we deal directly with the client as well. So they're very hands-on. They change their mind about things. We've done gardens and we've redone gardens because some things work and some things don't work, and it's all about taste at the end of the day. If something you think on paper is going to work, but in reality it doesn't work. So that's where I come in with the knowledge of right plant, right place. You may want to have a vegetable patch under the shade of a big oak tree, but in reality it's not going to work. What can we do with those conditions? But also, as I say, taste changes as well. So, a few years ago, they might have wanted it to be a certain colour scheme. This year, they've changed their minds. So it's always a very fluid thing.
So what are some of the jobs that you've been doing recently then?
Well, it's coming out of winter and going into spring. It's always a good time in the gardening calendar. It's the hope for the rest of the year and what you can do. It's coming back out of the mulching borders, closing things down for the winter, and then just looking to the future, really. So the things we've been doing recently have been getting the vegetable garden ready, sowing seeds. We're lucky that we've got quite a large greenhouse where we can get things started off a little bit early. But that's not to say if somebody had wanting to plant straight out into the ground a bit later in the year, you're still going to get a nice crop of something. We've just come out of mulching all the borders. The bulbs are now coming through, so it's not maybe something you want to be doing when the bulbs are coming out, just in case you squash things. Also dividing clumps of plants that are getting a bit too big for the area they're in. So spring's an ideal time for plants like hostas or hardy geraniums. We dig out the whole clump, divide it into 2, and then you've got 2 plants for the price of 1. So then, plants do outgrow the space they're in. You want an instant border initially, but quite quickly after 2 or 3 years, it's an overgrown mess. So it's about, letting them spread their feet and giving them the room to look as good as they need to look.
Ross Gardner, Ross Smith, then head gardener from a big estate in Surrey, Hampshire and Berkshire, chatting to us there. And by the way, if you've got any questions that you would like to put to Steve, he's quite happy to answer them, because in a couple of weeks' time, there's going to be a little bit more of that interview that we had with Steve on our Spring Light show, because we're thinking, hopefully, fingers crossed, that we're going to all be able to get out into our gardens and do a little bit, for instance, like step into spring. So there's going to be a live Q&A with Ross on Facebook Live, which we will tell you about in the next few weeks or so. So keep watching our Facebook pages, where you see various bits and pieces that we're doing, and give us a question. If you've got a question relating to your garden, do get in touch with us, because we would love to hear from you here at the podcast and also at the live stream as well. So yeah, do
All
that.
things garden, isn't it? All things garden, things to how to prepare your garden for the spring and ongoing into the rest of the seasons. And he's going to come and talk to us early one evening, isn't he? So time for everybody to have had their dinner, get themselves a nice glass of something, and bring your questions.
Because me, I don't know how well you are up in your garden, Bev. Are you kind of?
I do really like gardening, but I haven't really got the first clue about it, to be fair. So it'd be great to have somebody to talk to us through the seasons about stuff we should be doing now. And more than that, if you've got a question, whether it's stupid or not, whether you think it's stupid, there's no such thing as a stupid question, is there, at the end of the day? Something that you can get a bit of knowledge from. That's what I'm going to be doing. So I'll be spending all my time asking all the questions.
Questions like, for instance, when should we be planting our seeds? When should we be planting our run of beans, for instance? All those kind of questions related to the garden. If you've got any of those questions,
hedge trimming, trimming,
and he's got some money saving
stuff
tips as well. Money saving tips. So yeah, all good stuff.
Yeah,
indeed. So there'll be more coming up from Ross over the next couple of weeks, but a live Q&A with him. If you've got any questions, do get in touch with us right now if you wish, or you can send me an email, which is roger@smjmediagroup.uk, and we'll put your question forward to Ross on that particular evening. Right. Thank you, team. Right. Let's crack on with this, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to talk about our Patreon site, which runs alongside our work that we do here at buzzpodcast.co.uk, because we create loads and loads of content for you to enjoy, and basically we produce it for free, which is crazy in this world, but we need your support by you supporting us by kind of just giving us a little bit of money. Okay, it's not a huge lot of money, just a little bit of money. It's something that we call Patreon. I know loads of podcasts are doing it, loads of YouTube people are doing it. Jack's kind of a little bit more up to date with all of this, kind of. Jack, can you explain a little bit?
Yeah, a lot of YouTubers and cosplayers are actually doing it to get money for their hobbies and supporting what they do. And they do 3 different tier levels, and we do 3 different tier levels as well. So you can choose which one you want to contribute towards. And for that, you actually get things in return, because you get access to a members only area on the Patreon page where we do things in the background that we don't normally do. We can do interviews with you. We do Q&A questions. There's lots of stuff, especially fun contents we create. We can just put out for members only. There's lots of things going on behind the scenes as well, and we'll post them all up on the members side. And it's a way to support us and keep doing what we do at the end of the day, because these guys are not free. It cost me an arm and a leg. So I'm actually in a wheelchair at the moment. It's got no legs. But no, it's just a way to support us and keep us going through, because also when we come out of lockdown, we like to travel around and building the community together. So we don't always stay in Surrey, we're in Hampshire and Berkshire, and obviously out towards costs and do what we do. We love doing it.
Yep, do get in touch with us. Anything you'd like to put to that, Beth?
Yeah, I would concur with what Jack has said, really. We love, for us, it's all about community, independent businesses, people sharing their stories and getting it out there. And it's been such a tough, since Jack started the podcast element of this back in I'm going to say March, April, May time. It's been a way for people to be able to stay in touch with each other and support everybody. So we love to do it. And if you want to support us in any way at all, there's tiny amounts or more, like the cost of a cup of coffee. And then we can get out more and spread the word more about communities. And also, when we can get out again properly, we've kind of decided that there'll be discounted tickets for events that we do for people who are Patreon people. So there'll be extra bonuses.
Yeah. So if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on live streaming, we got the link on the screen. Also have this in the link in all our podcasts anyway.
It's www.patreon.com/SMJ Media Group. Okay. Thank you, team, for that. Right. Let's hear from Steve Forster once again with his musical taste. Over to you, Rog. We're going to ask you a lighter subject here, Steve, all to do with music this time around. You got a passion for music?
A passion, no, but I like music, whether it's classical or modern, but I'm not particularly knowledgeable about it. Although I do love having a really good hi-fi.
Now then, I'm going to ask you the question. Tell me your favourite song and why.
You know, I really don't think I've got one. I can tell you a few that are on my playlist, but it changes all the time. I have quite an eclectic taste in music. It's from anything that's modern pop, although not rap, I have to say. I love the Bond music, the James Bond film music. Yeah, everything from Shirley Bassey and Goldfinger onwards. I think they're really powerful. And I like quite a lot of film music, but equally on classics, I'm a great lover of Mozart. I love some of Mozart's music, but don't ask me which concerto, because I just know which ones I like, but I don't know the numbers and what they are. Sorry. I just like anything that's pretty cheerful. I listen to a lot of music when I'm driving, or even sometimes on riding a motorcycle. I've got the headset built in with the sat nav, who tells me where to go, and the music which I use on sat nav, the music when I'm on the motorway, but I never use it off the motorway. I find it too distracting. Yeah.
I was going to say to you, can you remember that first song that you ever heard?
No, I can't. But I do. I do remember one of the early ones was Benny Hill and Ernie the Milkman.
And he drove the fastest milk cart in the West.
If that's not dating me, I'm afraid.
Quality. Well, it's been lovely to have you on the podcast, Steve. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. We do appreciate your time.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you so much.
You could hear the hoofbeats pound as they raced across the ground, and the clatter of the wheels as they spun round and round. And he galloped into Market Street, his badge upon his chest. His name was Ernie, and he drove the fastest milk cart in the West. Now Ernie loved a widow, a lady known as Sue. She lived all alone in Lily Lane at number 22. They said she was too good for him. She was haughty, proud and chic. But Ernie got his cocoa there 3 times every week. They called him Ernie. And he drove the fastest milk cart in the West. She said she'd like to bathe in milk. He said, all right, sweetheart. And when he'd finished work one night, he loaded up the cart. He said, you want it pasteurized, because pasteurized is best. She says, Ernie, I'll be happy if it comes up to me chest. That tickled old Ernie. And he drove the fastest milk cart in the West.
There we go.
That was good. Like that one.
Roger's still on mute.
That was really good, wasn't it? I really liked talking to Steve. Thought he was interesting, and I loved his music choices from James Bond to Ernie. It's very eclectic, isn't it?
I mean, classic Benny Hill. We got to talk about Benny Hill, though. I mean, I remember as a kid always watching that. It was funny.
It was not allowed these days, though, is it? It's all a bit PC.
Yeah, I was going to say, not very PC nowadays.
No, exactly.
With the likes of, remember, let's have a little chat then. Not PC, but Dick Emery. Remember Dick Emery?
Oh, yeah.
There's plenty of those comedians. You probably come across some of these, Bev, actually, on your travels that are not kind of PC, but they think they still can do these jokes, surely. How do you get some of these people?
Well, I luckily that's not my side of the job, so I don't have that issue. But Andy, who's my business partner, he manages them very well. But I think a lot of comedians kind of know what they can't say these days, you know, for their careers and everything else like that. I do think, though, it is only comedy and it isn't real. Like one of them says, "This is only a story." You know, with a punchline, it's not real life. So, you know, if you remember that, that's fine. It's about respect, though, isn't it? And having a laugh.
Yeah, the lovely Steve Forster joining us today on the podcast. You can hear the full interview if you click down to the bottom of the podcast here. It gives you all the details to the full interview that we had with Steve and some of the issues and some of the things that he's tackling across Hampshire and the Hart District as well. So thank you, Steve, for that. And if you are a local councillor and you fancy getting yourself onto the podcast, do get in touch with us. We'd love to hear from you. My email address is roger@smjmediagroup.uk, or drop one or two of these guys a line as well, and they will arrange a chat with you. Okay, so there you go. Right, still to come on the podcast, we hear from Trevor Hogg, talks about the Old Dean community. He joins us for a bit of a chat, plus also Anna from the COVID Vaccination Centre as well. That's all to come up a little bit later on the podcast. But first of all, let's do this.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of all the people who have assembled here, I would merely like to mention, if I may, that our unanimous attitude is one of lasting gratitude for what our friend has done for us today. And therefore, I would simply like to say, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Right, and it's thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we would really appreciate you, guys, that are listening to this podcast on our Facebook groups. By the way, we have produced a 2-minute video, one that you can put it on your page, okay, on Facebook, and also share it to other groups that you're part of. We want to see this kind of virtually trending kind of thing, don't we, Jack? Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it? And it's a big thank you to the NHS over the last couple of weeks that you've been giving us messages when we've been speaking to you for messages of support. Now, over the last couple of weeks, we've featured a guy called Anthony with Everything's All Right, which is still available, by the way. And this week, kind of giving him a little bit of a rest. So I thought it was a perfect opportunity to play our 2-minute montage and also to show you the video, if you're watching this on Facebook right now, of what Jack has created and I've created and Beverly's helped with as well. So it's our very special tribute to the lovely staff of the NHS that have done wonderful jobs over the months. And, you know, well, all I can say is thank you.
The Weekly Experience podcast is all about community and you thanking the NHS.
Hi, I'm Councillor Croak and Deputy Mayor of Surrey Heath, and I just wanted to do a massive shout out and thank you to the NHS. You're doing an awesome job. We're so proud of you and keep it up. Thank you.
Not only the NHS, it was the many key workers across the region that were helping you.
Hi, I'm Tracy Hempton, and I just want to big shout out to not just the NHS, but all the frontline workers, key workers, primary schools. They're doing an amazing job just keeping everything ticking over, and thank you very much.
It's Kathy Richardson, and I want to thank the NHS for keeping us well and keeping us safe. May you have peace, may you be well, and may you live with joy. Thank you.
My name is Henry Fricker. I'm a musician, singer, songwriter and pianist. And this year I would love to thank my manager Stacey, also to thank friends, family and fans.
Hi there, I'm Anna Webb. I'd like to thank everybody within the NHS, but I'd also like to thank all of the people who are working in the testing centres. Having had to use it fairly recently, it was just so efficient. The people working there were just amazing, made you feel very comfortable. And yeah, so I think they're some unsung heroes as well.
Mars Colucci of Colucci's Wines, and we really have to thank the people of the NHS who have been just working flat out around this whole COVID thing, and they've just been inundated with people and having to deal with it and putting their lives on the line every day.
The messages have been flooding in for the NHS.
I'm Sarah, and I would like to say thank you to Katie
chaplain who's been working behind the scenes with the NHS and has dedicated a whole year looking after her clients and her patients.
I'm Billy Lyle. I just want to say a big shout out to the NHS. I think you guys are doing an absolutely amazing job, and I think we're all clapping for you, and we're all wishing you the best, and keep doing what you're doing, because it's keeping us all sane and keeping us all together, and you're saving lives, and that's what it's all about. So big shout out to the NHS. Thank you very much.
From the many communities around, the Weekly Experience, and the many key workers and the NHS, thank you.
So, if you like the video, by the way, do please share it on your socials, and we'd really appreciate that. Okay, so there you go. That's our thank you to the NHS. If you've got a message that you would like to thank the NHS, do get in touch with us here on the podcast. We'd love to hear from you. Okay, right, let's crack on with the show, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll speak to this particular gentleman. His name is Trevor Hogg. So tell us about the food bank in the Old Dean area of Camberley, Trav.
Well, literally a year ago today, I got together with St Martin's Church as chairman of the Old Dean Community Group. We basically said we needed to have a meeting to work out what we were going to do in relation to coronavirus and what we saw as the likely future effects, and particularly that it was going to hit people with low incomes the very hardest. So we started with organising volunteers. We put in place food parcels through the initial lockdown. When the lockdown then eased, we were looking around at other things to do. I'd applied to the National Lottery, and they'd given us quite a nice chunk of money to help with food poverty. So the first thing that we actually did was we provided the free school meals families in Old Dean with co-op gift vouchers, and also some games and exercise equipment for them to use during the summer holidays. Because the view was that without free school meals and all the rest of it, they would need a little bit of support, extra support. So that was what we did. We'd also been talking to the local allotment society. So at the end of June, they started donating fresh fruit and veg grown on the local allotments in Barossa Road to give to the local community. So we set up a stall in front of St Martin's Church in the car park on a Sunday with myself and Chris Richardson, and who's the vicar at St Martin's, handing out fresh fruit and veg to anyone who felt they needed a little bit of help supporting their family, getting some food on the table. And it gradually built from there. Then really at the end of July, beginning of August, there was a little bit of a pause because it was kind of, what the allotments had wasn't very much at that point. So, but then we decided that we needed to continue this. Went and talked to Terry Emmett, a local greengrocer, and he agreed to supply us at cost. So every week since then, we've been running that store, and it's gradually grown. More and more people come along to give us stuff to put on it, particularly the dry goods to supplement the fresh fruit and veg and eggs that we were getting from Terry. This weekend, we actually kind of hit a high. We gave away vouchers for chickens that had been donated by Laneford's, the local butchers, and a local resident working together. We provided little pancake kits of a bag of flour, a lemon, a box of eggs for making pancakes. 7 tables completely filled with food and dry goods, nappies, and even a few children's toys. So, and all of that completely went. So we went through, I think, 100 kilos of potatoes, 4 bags of carrots, 2 boxes of apples, 2 boxes of oranges, courgettes, parsnips. Goodness knows how many boxes of eggs that we actually put out. But this is actually supporting families who have literally got nothing at the moment.
It shows like you've got a lovely community there. So
Yeah,
I would say.
We've extended this to Watchetts, and we're looking at now extending it to a third location.
So give us a reminder of that location to us just before we go.
Well, it's St Martin's Church car park in Old Dean. We are there from 12:30 to 1:30. Very happy to take donations on the store. You can also make donations on the MN's website, or you can take dry goods into MN's shop in the SQ, and Terry Emmett will deliver them to us with our fruit and veg.
Excellent. Lovely incentive. And Trevor, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you.
Trevor Hogg joining us today from the Old Dean estate, and having a bit of a chat about the food bank there. Plus also, if you look through our various other podcasts that we have, there's a full interview with him with 3 unique projects that guy is behind in the community. He's a great ambassador. He's retired, but he still wants to be active and doing some great things across the Old Dean area, which is really lovely. He was a lovely guy, wasn't he?
He was. I mean, it shines. It's a perfect example for what Weekly Experience is about, isn't it? All about community, about community and being diverse and fun at the same time. It's great. And that food bank, what an incentive that is. That's fantastic. And I loved the pancake distribution, ingredient distribution. That was a nice one, wasn't it?
Indeed. So there you go. Trevor, thanks for joining us. And if you want to hear the full podcast, look at the link below on the podcast. Right. Let's crack on with those quiz questions. Once again, recap. All related to Science Week, happening at the beginning of March. Here's your 3 questions. In question number 1, in which modern-day country was the physicist and chemist Marie Curie born? Was it A, Poland? Was it B, Germany? Or was it C, England or England? Just looking at Bev's face, trying to get any inspiration, see if she's got that one. Okay, number 2. Which is the largest internal organ in the human body? Is it the heart for A? Is it B, the lung? Or C, liver? That is your question number 2 today. Question 3. Percy Spencer invented which time-saving kitchen appliance? Was it the kettle? Was it the microwave oven? Or was it C, the toaster? 3 nice science-related questions, I think you'll find. You're getting 2, are you, Bev?
I reckon I might be getting 2. Might be.
Jack,
completely without any help from anybody. And
I think I might get 3, but knowing when I did that before, I got 0.
Oh, yeah, that was last week, I think.
Indeed. So answers coming up very shortly on the podcast. Right, time to recap the mystery voices. Here we go on 3 voices. Tell us who they are.
Very proud of this one. Yeah, definitely. Yes. It's, I guess it brings a couple of my passions together, one of which is the 3D thing itself.
Ed is on this next card. I haven't got a sound effect for him, but I have heard impressions of him, which go something like this. So there you are.
You know, from the time I was a kid. So whenever it was, we worked on it. You know, if it was St. Patrick's Day, I had a leprechaun outfit at like 9 years old, and my dad had interviewed me. And
Or one's an actor, one's a musician, and one's a TV presenter. That was the clue that I gave you last week on that. Any more thoughts this week? Anyone that you want to kind of shout at me?
I still think I know who the girl is.
Oh, are you confident on the girl, are you? I thought you were confident on somebody else.
I'm confident on the last man.
Right.
Well, she says confidently. But I'm kind of, the more I hear it, I think I probably know the second girl now.
Oh, that's an improvement.
Well, I did mention it last week, but I'm here trying to flick through my pages. I can't remember what her name is. I know
Jack, any inklings?
Only the last one I'm sure on, but the other 2, so I'm not sure.
So if I revealed the answer, it's going to be, it's like when I said to you last week when we were watching The Masked Singer with my niece, and she's like, "Who's that then?" Yeah, they were in the 80s. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, is that a clue for us?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Interesting.
Anyway, so those are 3 mystery voices. Your chance to win the Amazon voucher. Send your entries into us. Okay, you'll get a couple of weeks to work it out. Okay. Are we going to reveal the answer, or do you think?
I think we should. I think we should wait till the end of the month, and if nobody's guessed it by then, we should just announce it.
So if no one gets it before the end of March, we have
End
to
of
reveal it.
February. End of February. Oh, that's this
End of-
week.
Yeah, end of March.
So we're going to go for another 4 weeks. Okay.
Yeah. Spencer's in there. That's why she wants to know it straight away.
Exactly. If we get a few more people focusing and
Well, in fact, look, I'll say this to you. Somebody has come up with possibly 2 answers.
all right, okay. We're almost getting there. Come on, we've got this, everyone. We have got this. Let's get it done.
Listen to previous podcasts for other clues that we've given you. Right, I've got to move on, otherwise I'll get ingested in the mystery voices too much. Right, still to come, we unpack the fact with Jack with his answers with 7 questions. And in a mo, we'll be joining with Anna as well, who's at the COVID vaccination centre as well. That's all coming up next on the Weekly Experience.
Gravity Force, the coolest, fittest place on Earth, right on your doorstep, here in Camberley. Interconnected trampolines, angled edges so you can literally bounce off the walls.
Are you having fun?
Fancy yourself as an adrenaline junkie? Or if you want that next fun-filled activity with your kids, Gravity Force offers you all of this.
Do you want some more?
Kids, teens and adults will love the foam pit, dodgeball courts and slam dunk basketball hoops. A new way to exercise. Unparalleled, unmatched, out of this world, free jumping fun for everyone. Gravity Force Camberley. Find us at www.gravityforce.co.uk. Go on, let yourself fly.
Just like this.
Weekly Experience.
Hello, Facebook Live people. Hello, how are you? It's Rog, Beverly,
It's me.
and Jackalas. In the centre of Camberley today, Jack. You're looking lovely.
Yeah, it's warming up a little bit, you know.
You're out there
Yes,
in a
nice-
t-shirt.
Nice blue sky you got there today.
Yeah.
There's far too many people there walking around behind you.
There's like, what, one?
Yes.
I was going to
Somebody
say,
getting
look
out
at a
with-
different picture.
You've been getting
out
out
of the car
last
now.
hour.
Plus, also, I know why you put that, because you think you're inside the Rainbow Cafe, aren't you?
Decided, yeah. Yeah.
You're next to it, aren't you? It's just over there. Give it a wave. We'll see it again
Right
soon.
there. Yeah, it's just there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't
That's a
forget,
nice one.
by
Where
the way.
did you get that picture from? Sorry.
Yeah, where did you get the picture?
I took it ages ago and was at the Rainbow Cafe.
Oh,
It was
right, okay.
fasting. Popped out and then took a quick picture. It was a nice sunny day.
Yeah, it's a lovely
We used to
sunny
have
day.
those. We used to have those.
Yeah.
I remember those days.
We could go out. It was sunny.
It seems so far away, those.
You know,
those
back then we'll moan about it's too hot to film outside, and then it's too cold to film outside. We're never happy, are we?
Don't forget, of course, in the summer, we will do the show live outside.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that, aren't we?
I'm up
I've
for
had
that.
I've had a
Yes,
word
what?
with Boris. I have had a word with Boris, and he's going to put that forward to his cat, and they're
Oh, is
going
he-
to agree it.
Is he putting that in his speech tonight?
Yeah, no, actually, he's going to message me privately and just say I didn't say it out loud because I don't want to upset everybody else, but you guys can definitely do it.
Can I just say, I don't know, we might get cut off now off Facebook. Have you been watching the news reports with Boris? Because he's revealing rather a lot of his chest, if you know what I mean.
No, I didn't. I haven't noticed that.
His
He's revealing more and more of his chest.
nips.
Move on, quick, Jack. Get back on the focus.
If you got any comments, by the way, leave them.
Keep them to yourself.
No.
Not on that subject.
Any comments, please do get in touch with us here at Facebook Live. We would love to see them as we continue to do the Weekly Experience show. Hopefully you're enjoying the show so far. And the podcast is out every Friday because there's lots of editing to do. Because this, you won't hear it on the show. No, it's just for
You
you
won't
lot.
hear this, but this is especially for you. So you're lucky.
You're lucky.
By Friday, it's all condensed down and sounds really professional. Condensed down usually to about an hour and a half or so, because we talk a lot, and we talk about all sorts of fun stuff and serious stuff, and we have our Unpack the Fact feature, don't we, Roger?
Yeah, I'm a little bit unsure on today's. I think he's cheating.
That is not the aim of the game. The aim of the game is for us to share a story, whether it's
bloody facts.
They're still facts. They're still true or false. Didn't tell us the rules, did you?
Yeah, we did. It's a story about ourselves, and you guys have to decide.
I thought I'd just up it and change it this week.
Well, he's allowed to, of course.
Keep chatting because my script's just closed down again. A minute.
All right. Okay.
There you go. Let's have Windows on your tablet.
Yeah, he's allowed to. So yeah, it's nice having everybody along too on a Facebook Live, isn't it? With us, as Jack is frozen up as well.
I'm
Keep doing the spiel. Keep doing the spiel. Go on, carry on. Beverly Phil.
We've got some interesting guests coming up, haven't we? Really, because we've been actually not just we do podcasts every day or every other day anyway. And we speak to lots of great people in the local community. So we've got lots of nice talks. We're getting a bit more entertainment coming along, singing songwriters, bands as well. We've got that great one we did. Was it Coyote?
It's Coyote Party Band. They're great. They are Farnborough people, but temporarily living somewhere else, obviously because of the lockdown. But they have got a massive following on Facebook and all over the place. And normally they work all the way over the world. But we managed to get to interview them. And they're great. They're a great couple to start with. And
he's got a great voice. She's got a great voice. He looks very much like we said before, the Pirates Caribbean. The
Johnny Depp.
Oh, Johnny Depp. Yeah, he's kind of got that Johnny Depp look. So
she has that pink look or the Kylie Minogue type look as well. Because when I go through her pictures and stuff, you can see on the stage, she puts those looks really well. I don't know if she's imitating him. That's just how she looks.
That's how she looks. Yeah, but that was a nice interview we had a couple of weeks ago. And that podcast is actually out now, isn't it? Entertainment.
It's on the Buzz Talk Entertainment.
Buzz Talks Entertainment, yeah. And we've just recently done we're doing another feature for...
You're doing well, team.
The weddings. We've got weddings things coming up as well. So that's another worthwhile listen at some point in the near future. And like we said about the gardening.
The gardening
one. Yeah. So and Ross is a really nice guy. He's very knowledgeable about what he does. So we thought we'd do a question and answer session. That's something else. So we're not just sitting here recording all this on a Monday and then just going off with our feet up and watching daytime telly. We're actually doing stuff as well.
Why Roger's still messing around getting his thing booted up? It's probably packed up now. We want to speak to mum in lockdown, parenting from home, homeschooling from home. We want to hear all those sort of stories. If you want to come on and talk about how hectic it's been, or struggles, or maybe how easy it is, to doing it, give us a shout. Come and give us a shout. Come and talk to us.
I have to say, my granddaughter, it just reminds me, Jack, she said the other day, I'm so bored, Nana. I just want to go back to school now. So when Boris makes his announcement later, maybe he'll make one little girl very happy. Yeah. So, because I think that's the thing. But yeah, I take my hat off to everybody who's been homeschooling the last 2 months. Are you eating something?
Oh, he's playing his little paper.
He's back again. Okay.
Right, are we back, Rog? Taking your
By the way, Ant, you got 3 out of 3.
Oh.
Okay. He's messaged me now, so I know the answers.
Ant, don't pass her the answers.
Don't forget to message me.
Jack's upset. How does he know that? How does he know the answers?
I'll ask him.
No, he's not talking to me. He won't give me the answers.
I've been quite flushed this week, so I think he's been paid off. The answers.
Who?
And by the way, Carla has 2 out of 3 on the mystery voices.
Oh, what? 100%?
No, 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3.
No, 100. Definitely, she's got those 2 right.
Yes.
She can enter then. Why doesn't she enter? Don't tell her.
Get 3.
Oh yes, okay.
Yeah.
Plus, I want everyone else to have a go.
Have I got to?
I can't remember what your other answer was.
Okay, well, I'm not saying it out loud. Obviously.
Tell me on the podcast in a minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have to try and remember what it's just called.
Should we get back with the show?
Let's get back to the show.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to the Weekly Experience. Fancy getting yourself on the show. Love to hear from you lot. You can email us, or you don't forget, we have a Facebook page now. Facebook.com/The Weekly Experience. Click and like there. We'd love for you to get and like it. Plus, also, we do live streams on there. We've been doing the live stream of this particular show on the Weekly Experience Facebook page, so you can hear our mistakes and all our little bits in between as well. So do get in touch with us. We would love to hear from you. Right. Let's hear from Anna Trevelyan, who spends her time at the vaccination centre. And we've got a small insight on what happens there when we go for our jab. And hopefully we hear this. Oh, I'll start that line again. Sorry. Let's hear from Anna Trevelyan, who spends her time at the vaccination centre. We get a small insight on what happens there. So, Anna, what can we expect?
It's lots of people aren't sure what to expect. So what you'll do is you'll be given the address and your time. I'd recommend you come just a few minutes early, not too early because you'll be seeing the other patients coming out, but a little bit early is great. My vaccination centres, you drive through and the lovely volunteer stewards will wave you in the car park where to go. And in our one, you wait in the car. And again, the stewards will come and knock on the window when it's your turn to come through, so you can socially distance and keep away from other people. You'll come through into the main hall. You'll be met by one of our lovely reception team, and some of our staff will be showing you where to go. And then you'll be sat down on a little chair, socially distanced away from other people, and we sort of go up and down the lines and vaccinate people and answer any questions from there. And it's quite a quick process. Most people are in and out, in quite a short amount of time. You just are asked to stay for up to 15 minutes after, depending on which vaccination you've had, just where you are, just to make sure you have no adverse reactions. But the whole thing should be reasonably quick and smooth.
Okay, what sort of questions do you get? Oh, you mentioned questions.
Lots of questions. I think people read a lot about the vaccinations in the news. People are usually very knowledgeable about the vaccinations that they might be having. Unfortunately, we can't offer a choice on the day. It really does depend on stock. So, one day we'd be offering the Pfizer vaccination, another day we'd be doing Oxford AstraZeneca. So often on the day when you arrive and you're told which vaccination it is today, there are questions about that. So people just want to know really whether it's safe for them to have if they've got specific ailments. They might have medical questions they would like answered, or just anxieties or worries that they'd like to be reassured by, and we can do that. We have a lovely team of very experienced nurses, senior doctors, and we always have a clinical lead on hand to help with anything that they might want to be asking. Lots of people ask how long the antibodies might take and what levels of protection they can expect. Those are slightly trickier questions. The clinical trials are slightly different to real life, and the data seems to change quite regularly, but we can say with a degree of confidence that the vaccines are safe and they are effective. So I often echo Jonathan Van Tam's comments on that, and I say the best vaccination for you is the one that you can receive the soonest. So what we don't want is people having in their head that they really want one or the other, and then when they arrive, it's not in stock. It's, I would say, best to go for it on the day. Ask questions, of course, make sure that you're happy, but delaying with the hope of receiving another vaccine isn't something that we would ideally want people to do. It's just best to go for it, have a slightly open mind, and just be reassured that vaccines approved for use in the UK are safe and effective.
It's interesting what you said earlier on, that Jonathan Van Tam, a very wise man, I have to say, and people having an open mind about the whole thing, isn't it? Because a lot of people have preconceived ideas about what they think they want for varying reasons.
Absolutely.
And how far we have come, because we got the first lockdown mid-March last year, and here we are, able to have vaccination clinics to ideally eradicate this illness, or at least get it under control. So, I mean, there's so many questions, aren't there? Like, can you have it if you're planning for a baby?
All sorts of questions like that, and we are happy to answer anything like that. And in my experience, I haven't really had anybody who has come in worried that they can't have one jab and they've been turned away for medical reasons. It's very safe, it's very effective, and people will have individual questions. If you can't ask your GP in advance, then please do just come along to your appointment, because we can talk it through with you then. What we don't want is people worrying about it and not turning up because they're concerned about something. You know, we've got so many staff there. We're really, really happy to talk through any questions that you have.
Lovely Anna Trevelyan talking us from the COVID vaccination centre that she works at. And you can hear the full interview with Anna at buzzpodcast.co.uk/healthy life, where you'll be able to access that particular interview. It's well worth a listen if you've got any concerns of going to the COVID vaccination centre for your jab, or any other related questions to do with COVID. Anna is there on hand to put you at ease. So that's buzzpodcast.co.uk/healthy life. She was lovely. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah, that was really good, wasn't it? Because I have to say, what she said was, if you've got an appointment and you've got any concerns, go along and ask the questions, because in that space are the people that know what the right answer is. You know, rather than scrolling around on anything, it's there and it's factual and it just is what it is. So I took a lot of learning from that one.
So there you go. Have you had your jab yet? I can't remember.
No, I haven't. Well, I'm not in that category yet, Roger. No, I haven't. No, I haven't had it.
The under 40s, yeah?
Say that
The
again?
under 40s.
The under 40s haven't got there yet, but no. But also, even if mine came up, I had COVID, didn't I, in January? And that was one thing I thought, how soon after having COVID can you be eligible for a jab? And that was, it's a month, isn't it? A month from the test to the, you have to have a month clear, which is good. So I don't mind waiting a little bit while. But some of my friends have started having it now.
I probably won't be getting a jab because I'm under 20, so.
Dream, dream, dream.
Jack, have you had yours?
No, I'm in my 20s, and I so yeah, same as you.
Oh, for goodness sake. Move on, boys.
Grandmother Bev has spoken.
Yeah, I said I'll let you know. Yeah, 2 of my daughters have, though, but they're kind of key worker kind of people. You know, they're involved in helping out in that regard. One had the Pfizer and one had the Oxford. And both of them got a little bit achy for 24 hours, but that was that. My mum, who's 83, and your mum's had it, and my mum didn't have any reactions. Did your mum?
No, not at all. She was fine. Absolutely fine.
No, exactly. So I just think, thank goodness for scientists.
Although I will say my brother's other half did have a kind of, she was feeling a little bit poorly after the vaccination, but nothing to worry about. I'm not trying to scare people, but there are some side effects that does come in to play, basically, when you've had the jab. That's what I'm trying to say. So there you go.
Yeah, sometimes they are. It's just what it is. But that's the same with anything, isn't it? Sometimes you might get a tiny reaction to something or another, or a bit more of a reaction. But it's better than the illness.
If you got an experience or something that you'd like to share us how you got on at the vaccination centre, do get in touch with us at the podcast, because we'd like to hear from you, okay? Because that's what it's all about. You talking to us, because you are the real people with the real stories, real life. There you go. That's what we're all about here at the Weekly Experience. Now then, before we give you the answers to the quiz, it's time to do this.
It's time to unpack the fact. Unpacked the fact.
True, false, false, true, true, false, false, true.
Now then, don't turn off, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 7 facts here. Me and Bev have to work them all out.
Thank you, Jack. It's another 3 weeks, so let's focus on this one. It's another 3 weeks till he has another turn, so we'll time to whip it into shape.
Right. Okay. Fact number one, Jack.
Fact number one: a woman in Sydney complained that the vibrations from her new iPhone gave her an orgasm on the bus.
I would say that's true. I'm going for true on that one.
I'm going to say true as well because I think I've heard this story somewhere.
The answer is false.
Oh. Okay.
No one there? Okay. A tree planted to the honour of the late George Harrison was killed by beetles.
I think that's true.
I'll go false too. Go on.
On to Bev.
Oh.
That's true.
Okay.
Okay. A 9-year-old boy in South Africa married a 62-year-old woman.
I'm going to say true. Bev?
I'm going false. So please let it be false. Please let it be false.
It was true.
No.
Do you have the story on that one?
No.
Oh,
They're just
okay.
facts. That's all.
That's not nice.
Go on.
A Russian astronaut claimed he saw a ghost on the International Space Station.
I'm going true for that one.
False.
It was false. A build-up of gas from cows sparked a methane explosion at a building in Germany.
True.
False.
It was true. A Tesco's in the UK refused to sell a teaspoon to a 16-year-old boy, telling him he was too young to buy it.
Yeah, I'm going true with that one.
False.
On to Bev. True.
Ooh.
That's because of the drug thing, isn't it? They think they're going to do something with drugs.
Maybe, yeah.
Possibly.
A vet in Portland removed 43 socks from the stomach of a dog.
Would you have to get 43 pairs of socks in a dog, though?
Not
Mind
pairs,
you-
just actual
mind you-
socks. Pairs or
mind-
actual?
It just says 43 socks.
Mind you, it
Okay.
depends on how big the dog is, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does. I'm
I'll
going
say true. Yeah, true.
Okay. And one each for you. That's true.
True. Well done.
So, do you want to know who the winner is?
Yes,
Go on.
please.
Okay, here's the winner. And the winner is Beverly Roger. Oh no, wrong one. Got the wrong one. I confused you there, didn't it? Got the wrong one. Okay, here we go. All right. Okay, that was a trick one as well. See. Okay, here we go. And the winner is Roger Noble. So you got 4 and Bev got 3.
Yes. Yes. I'm feeling quite smug with myself for that.
See, something a bit different. See, some facts there, you know.
Oh dear. Yes, I am the winner. I am the winner.
Jack, I'm so glad he's the question master for the normal quiz. Look at him. Modest. He's modest. Modesty. Go to modesty school.
Well, if you both didn't guess right, I didn't have a tune for that one.
No, you didn't have anyone that was equal, did you? You were lucky.
Yeah, he
that.
did. He had the equal one, but he didn't have one if none of us won.
Yeah.
He'd equally have one lost.
Equal one, yeah. I did think of that ahead, and I thought, should I do one? No, very on chance someone will win it anyway. But yeah, okay.
There you are. Well, I'm the winner, ladies and gentlemen, on the podcast. That's all that matters.
Again, now, no.
Oh dear, I'm feeling a bit smug with myself. Anyway, answers to the quiz coming up in just a couple of minutes. First of all, though, let's have some music on the podcast. This is Lily Dineley. This is Love Songs on the Radio.
I've loved and I've lost, so tell me why I do it a million times over to share a lifetime with you. I've had and I've hurt, but it was all worth it if I get to lie next to you at the end of the day. My love, my world, my heart, my one and only. You are the reason I understand the love songs on the radio. On the radio now. Love songs on the radio. Love songs on the radio. Love songs on the radio now. Love songs on the radio. Love songs on the radio. Love songs on the radio now. Early mornings with you. But we don't have to leave yet. Walk away in another 5 minutes. Do you have any idea the way you make me feel when you tell me that you love me and only me? Yeah. My love, my world, my heart, my one and only. You are the reason I understand the love songs on the radio. On the radio now. Love songs on the radio. Love songs on the radio. Love songs on the radio now. Love songs on the radio. Love songs on the radio. Love songs on the radio now. Do you have any idea how much I love you? Do you have any idea I want to spend my life with you?
The lovely Lily Dineley and Love Songs on the Radio, really like that. If you've got a track that you would like to send us for inclusion on the Weekly Experience or any of our other podcasts, do get in touch with us. You can email me or Bev or Jack with your details. Tell us a little bit about you, where you're from, how it's affected you, for instance, with COVID, for instance, and how you've managed to get through the last year as well. Do feel free to get in touch with me. That's my email address, which is roger@smjmediagroup.uk. Go and get in touch with us, and we would love to hear from you on the podcast. Okay, so anything you'd like to add to that?
It's beautiful. I love that song. She's a very talented young lady, isn't she? Going to go far, I reckon.
Takes after a mum and a mum and dad, in it?
Yeah, her mum and her dad. They're musical, beautiful, and they were in a band as well, weren't they?
Yeah.
Except her mum doesn't know what 30 seconds is. Sorry, Mandy. I had to put that in somewhere, but no. But there you go. Anyway, thank you, Lily, for sending that across to us. And if you are a local musician, singer, songwriter, whatever, do get in touch with us on the podcast. Right. Let's crack on then. Just before the end of the show today, let's give you the answers to this week's quiz. All to do with science, because it's Science Week at the beginning of March for, I think, about 10 days, by the way.
Science Week for 10 days. Science Week for 10 days.
Yeah. It's over a week, basically.
Okay.
It's for 10 days. Shut up, you. I'm just saying as it is. I think it is for 10 days, but they're calling it Science Week.
Well, they've gone right. I thought scientists were logical.
Look, shut up, woman. For God's sake, stop confusing matters.
These things in business, because that's 5 days, isn't it? And then in our normal week for general people is 7 days. So a week.
Okay, carry on, Roger. Now we've unpacked the fact.
Look, stop analysing things. I didn't think it was Science Week, okay? It's just generally Science Week in the UK, all right?
Okay.
Right, question number 1 today. In which modern country was the physicist and chemist Marie Curie born? Was it Poland? Was it Germany? Or was it England? Bev?
I think I'm going to go Poland.
Okay, Jack?
What was the ones the countries again?
Poland, Germany, or England?
Germany.
One person's getting it right, and that person is Beverly. Question 2. Which is the largest internal organ in the human body? Is it the heart, is it the lung, or is it the liver? Jack.
Lung.
Beverly.
You see, I was thinking that I've been toying with that all show. I know I have to be quicker than this, but I was going to say it was the liver, but I'd like to say it's the lung, because are you including all the insides of it when it's spread out flat? So I'm going to go, unfortunately, liver.
What she answered?
What was your answer?
She said
It should
liver.
have been liver.
One of you's right, one of you's wrong. After taking about 30 seconds to a minute to get the answer, Beverly gets the point there. Question number 3. Percy Spencer invented which time-saving kitchen appliance? Was it the kettle, was it the microwave oven, or was it the toaster? Now, because he's a geek, I'll come to Jack first of all this time.
I think a microwave.
Beverly?
Yeah, I was going to say a microwave too.
Is that your final answers?
That's final answer. Microwave, final answer.
Percy Spencer invented which time-saving kitchen appliance? It was the microwave, so you both get the point. Yay! So that means that Beverly gets the overall point for this week's quiz. Were you a bit of a boffin in science?
Yeah, I was rubbish at science.
I used to hate science at school. I remember science in school where we used to, set fire to the classroom with a Bunsen burner.
Here's a question for you, Bev. So you know this one. On the microwave, on the same topic, where did they get that technology from? Because that was invented before the microwave.
Space.
Somebody did it.
Pythagoras, square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the two on the other side.
Oh,
or
Tesla.
something.
The Tesla guy who invented electricity, because they were experimenting wireless electricity, and the radio came out of it, and then obviously the microwave came out of it because it's using the same radio waves.
Oh, really? Okay.
Close to the pylons on that, it generates massive heat for broadcasting with. So that's the same thing. Same thing, yeah.
Fantastic. I didn't know that. Thank you. That's a good sharing experience. Tesla. Is Tesla a person?
He's a person.
Okay.
Yeah. He invented electricity.
He didn't. It was somebody else, wasn't he?
No, someone else came on, but if you watch Netflix, it shows a story about him. So he actually invented electricity.
Okay.
Here's another quick fun fact question.
Before Jack, before Roger wakes up.
Was electricity invented, or was light bulb invented? Which one was invented first?
Light bulb.
Yeah, that was invented first.
Why? Why though?
Oh.
You have to check out Netflix. It tells you.
Okay. Well, you started this, Roger, by saying a quiz on science.
Okay.
Anyway, the most important thing, as I learned
Well, thank
from
you
the
for talking
leader.
about Science Week. Are you enhanced the feature, which is great, fantastic. If any scientists are listening and you fancy having these two physicists, is that what we call them?
Physicists.
Physicists on their podcast, by the way. Jack and Beverly are your people. Me, not interested.
No, you can count me out. Jack will join you. I have other skill sets yet to
I think
be discovered.
Science Week, which is for 10 days, I think starts on the 4th of March.
Until the 14th.
I mean, you should do the weekly experience all on science.
No, God. We
No.
want listeners.
It'll be the shortest show we've ever done.
Anyway, you do get the point. So what's the scores on the door, Miss Isla Sinclair?
All right. So Jack has 2.5 points. Beverly has 4.5 points now.
No, she's feeling smug now, isn't she? Go on, look here.
She doesn't need applause. Her face says it all.
Applause, Jack.
Okay. Oh, wrong one. That's it. It's all she's getting.
Would you like to give us? Would you like to give us a 5-second acceptance speech?
On behalf of my family who've supported me through this time, I'd like to.
Excellent. Right, can we finish the show now?
Oh dear. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to us, putting up with us for however long you've been listening to the podcast. Hopefully you listen right to the end, by the way. Oh, I forgot to do the mystery voices, didn't I? Mystery voices. Go on, play the voices again, Jack.
Very
Doctor
proud.
Who,
of it.
Reese.
Definitely, yes. It's. I guess it brings a couple of my passions together. One of which is the 3D thing itself.
Ed is on this next card. I haven't got a sound effect for him, but I have heard impressions of him, which go something like this. Quack. So there you are.
You know, from the time I was a kid. So whenever it was, we worked on it. You know, if it was St. Patrick's Day, I had a leprechaun outfit at like 9 years old, and my dad had interviewed me. And
one's a singer, one's a TV presenter, and one is a, what did I say? One's a singer, one's an actor, and what? One's a TV presenter.
Yeah.
Let's come to the end of the podcast.
Yeah, one's a singer, one's a TV presenter, one's an actor. In any order, any of those orders.
Okay. And there is a clue in one of the clips.
I think he's done a clue where he's talked before. So I have to look at some previous weekend experiences.
Okay. There you go. 3 mystery voices.
Oh.
3 mystery voices to identify. If you do know what those 3 voices are, do get in touch with us on the podcast. Your chance to win that Amazon voucher from us. And the entries have got to be in before the end of March. Okay. 31st of March. That's when they got to be in by. And then the week after, we will announce the winner if we do have a winner. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we will. So everyone get yourself into the draw. It won't be the first one through. Everyone that gets it right will be put into the draw. And then we will pick somebody at random, ladies and gentlemen. So get your 3 answers into us if you fancy winning. Team, that's about it for this week.
Excellent.
Stunned silent from Beverly.
Isn't it?
You that bored?
No, I obviously need a cup of tea. No, not at all. It's fantastic. I just like to say, I was just thinking, stay safe, everybody. Listen to what Boris has got to say, and hopefully very soon we'll be able to get out and about and things will be changing.
When's that happening?
Well, he's talking to Parliament at 3:30, and he's actually talking to the public at 7 tonight.
Okay.
He
So
speaks
that
to the
might have
nation.
already happened on the podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's round this up. So thanks, Rog. Thanks, Bev.
Thanks. See you in 7 days. Bye.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Weekly Experience. For more episodes, you can find us on Apple Podcast, Google, and Spotify. Don't forget to subscribe to stay fully up to date. So look out for our next podcast and do check our new website, buzzpodcasts.co.uk.
Way!
There we go then.
We'll finish live streaming in a sec. So thanks for everyone who's watched all the way through this. 2 hours and 12 minutes.
Jack, you were being challenging with the unpack the fact.
Yeah. Well, to just change it up a little bit, you know. I got quite a boring life. Just run out of stories. No, I just last minute I thought there's something I wanted to say, but I didn't know how to say it. So I thought I'll just do these ones though, and it sort of changes it a little bit.
He's working on his script, everyone.
There's something that you wanted to say, but you didn't know how to say it. We need to come back to that one then.
I know the story, but I don't know how I can present it nicely. And I sort of spin on it, a bit of music in the background, some sound effects, you know.
So it's my turn next week. So I haven't got any didgeridoos here.
Just
anybody who's got a didgeridoo sound effect equipment, get in touch.
Not really send it to Rod because it'd be cheating because they'll know what the answer is. So it's a bit difficult. We'll have to get some audio stuff over and you can play with, you know.
When we get together, I'll show you how to use use Audacity because it's a free bit of software.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you
That's
can
good.
and you can play around with sound effects.
That's great. That's good heads up for anybody who's listening, isn't it? Audacity. I can get in there and have a fiddle around with stuff. What do you use it for?
Make
To
cakes, watch TV. No.
What is wrong with you lot?
see, we are silly off air as well as on air, ladies and gentlemen.
It doesn't
it's basically,
change.
to take words out of interviews, adding sound effects to various bits and pieces. Yeah.
So, Jack, how long do you reckon the show's? Well, no, Roger, actually, how long do you think the show's going to be this week? Once you take out all the bits of the live and the little bits.
I kind of guess an hour and 30, I reckon. But normally,
hour and 50.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a fun packed show.
I love the family singing. They're great, aren't they?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure whether I'd seen them before or whether I'd seen another family do something
He
similar.
popped up this morning, so I was having a coffee this morning when I woke up. I looked at it. Oh, this is great, you know. And I was trying to find the source from it because it was shared by somebody else. So I went on YouTube and lucky enough did a search for it and found the actual channel it was from because he's obviously downloaded it and copied it on his own Facebook page. So I found the original page where it came from. So I did the same, downloaded it basically, and they got a whole YouTube channel. So I put all the links on the podcast so we can actually go because they do a lot more than just that, and they look quite a fun family as well.
Yeah, they do, don't they? They do look
Can I
quite
share
fun.
something off Facebook?
Yeah, they all sing really well actually. Roger's gone.
He's gone to share something. He's working out how to share something right now. I'm a
Okay.
little bit scared when he does stuff like this. You never know what's going to appear.
Yeah, it just disappears off stream. Not even a warning. That I won't let him back in.
Do you think he's gone on purpose?
It went suddenly, so I don't know if he's actually pulled a cable and disconnected him off the stream or something. We'll find out if he pops back in anyway. But yeah, we're slowly changing the show a little bit, making it more smoothed out. So we're getting really. So we want to bring the show down to about an hour and a half. If he comes back, yay! What
Cut
happened there?
myself off.
Oh, we wondered whether you were bringing something in or what.
Oh, how do I share something?
What do you mean share?
Can I share something off
Screen
Facebook?
share. Yeah, do screen share, and then they'll give you the option to say share my screen, and then you get the option to sort of share entire screen or the application window. So we've got running in the background on a web page. You can pick the web page only, and then you should be able to share that. Then.
Let me see if I can get it a minute. Hold on.
Sorry, everybody.
That's right.
An insight into our lives.
That's it. Roger's learning a new trick. Yeah, that's the same. We are trimming it down a bit more, make it a bit more punchy, smoothing off our show features, adding a bit of music, sort of sleeking it. Roger does a really good job of that because he's obviously background radio, so really good.
So what we kind of like to do is do a few community features and articles and interviews, and then find
What do I press?
musicians.
And click on at the bottom
Click
there.
on share.
No, it's different on because he's talking about the window. So we got mute,
Oh.
stop cam and mic. Then you got share. Click on share. Then click
Yeah.
on share screen. Okay, little window
Sharing
will
screen. Yeah. Which one do I press there?
click on application window, then it'll show you what you got open, and then if you've got a tab open in a web browser, you can select that and it'll share just that page then.
Application window, is that the one I need, is it?
Yeah, application window, then underneath that you'll see
Be
a little
careful, Roger.
screenshot of what you got open. So I got StreamYard Notes and Messenger. You can select which one you've got open, and then that'll give you the option to say share.
Oh.
And when that drops down to share, it'll drop into your. Yeah, got it. I got it on here. Okay, cool. And then it's up. Don't do anything. Don't do anything. I'm just going to take mine out because I was just doing it as a stop share my screen. Now I can add your screen into the share. There you go. And if you click on
So
your tab,
how do I place them?
just which window you're showing us?
That one there.
Okay. Yeah, close your messages down. Back in the world.
Yeah.
Click on it, and there you go.
Got it?
Yeah, it's coming up.
Something's coming up. Can you see it yourself?
It's coming out. It's the stream. It's
if it'll play, guys.
Yeah. Oh, it's not coming through the stream itself. Yeah, we can't really hear the music.
You can't hear it?
No.
You can hear it very foggily.
Well, we can
Okay.
download and we can do it next time.
Hold on. Hold on. Right, take me off as share.
Okay.
Stop sharing.
There you go.
Okay. I'll
Send me the link and I'll share it across here.
hold on. Private chat. Because it doesn't matter. Right. Try that.
Right, let me open this up. Open a new tab. Okay. Right, Boaz, I'm just going to share my screen. So I'm just going to pause that. Share screen, application window.
I've got her phone number, so we'll try and get her on the show next week.
Yeah. Where's when you share? One sec. Let me share that screen either. One sec. Very temperamental this is. Share screen. Oh, okay. New window. Application window. This is doing terrible. It's
Any
throwing-
luck?
No, it's throwing more windows around. Oh, a minute. Ah, got it. Share. Bring it into stream. There you go. So it's going to be in a small window anyway. So again, I can play it. Here we go, guys.
Look at this house, isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think a lockdown would be sweet? A chance to relax and take stock, more time with the family. It's now lockdown 3, we're losing the plot. Kids' homework's due in, but they don't give a jot. We've stopped doing morning PE, and we've eaten everything. I've played board games, binged Netflix completely. I've done crosswords, Sudoku galore. Managed to walk some days quite discreetly. But who cares? No big deal. I want more. I wanna be where the people are. I wanna see them gathering, going on holiday, drinking cocktails at the bar, wearing a mask round the supermarket. Nobody knows if you're smiling, gurning, or sticking your tongue out at people you pass in the aisles. Oh, to see my friends and be with my fam, hugging my mom, my dad, and my gran. I'm never free. Wish I could be back in that world. What I would give if I could meet all of my besties down at the pub, in a restaurant, or in a cafe. Here's to our NHS, under such stress, they're suffering, but still they're saving our lives. We salute you, key workers too, dear Captain Tom. I'm ready to know what Boris Johnson knows. How long's this lockdown, please? When's it ending? When will we get the jab? When will homeschooling hell end? Can't wait for that time. Hands, face can stop. I'm going to the high street to shop till I drop. When the pandemic is done and we're out having fun, back in the world.
Lovely lady by the name of Laura.
That's really cool. We have to look out. Maybe next week we should do a few of these little video links. We'll find.
Well,
who's-
I've got her phone number because my friend's given me her number, so I'll
Yeah,
try
I'll
and
speak
get her up for a
video.
chat.
That would be great to get her on.
Try and
show
do
the
it.
video.
Obviously, try and do it this week.
Yeah.
Well, we're doing it live again next week, aren't we? So that would be
Yeah.
good.
We can drop them in, and I'll look for some other fun because I know a few
Craigo
people
likes it.
are doing like Paratree ones as well. You know, there's another lady singer-songwriter does one as well. We'll get that on the show.
Craigo, if you're watching right now, there is another one on the other bit of the stream that we've already done. So
Yeah, that's a funny one.
if anyone is watching this right now and they've got another one they could send us, do get in touch. Perhaps our 3 songs that we include in the show next week could be all 3 parodies.
Yeah, really good. Shows people being inventive and creative in lockdown.
So we could play the one again that you had, unless we get another couple or whatever.
Fantastic.
Oh,
That's
what?
great,
Yeah,
Craigo.
Craigo. Thank you very much.
So that'll be Monday at 1 o'clock. We're doing that, aren't we, next week?
Yeah, to keep at the same time every week and stuff. But yeah, pretty good. So I hope everyone enjoyed that.
Yes. Yeah, glance into the behind the scenes for us.
That's it. Quick reminder of our Patreon support. That's where you can support us. Support us at patreon.com/S&J Media Group. And that helps us.
Indeed.
And we're building our
Indeed.
show. So, yeah.
Get in touch with us. We'd love to hear from you.
And definitely singing songwriters and bands. If you're singing, you're making music, let us know. We've got a special group you can join. We've also got a Google Drive. You can put your music on. We can play them through the shows every week as well. So,
Yeah, and have an interview with you, and you go on your own special podcast section.
Yep. And if
And
you're
First
desperate
Talks
for heads ups
Entertainment.
and stuff, Roger's your man.
No, he's not. Look, I'm
Don't
saying
do
that.
this at home. Get parents' permission, no matter how old you are. Parents' permission. Oh, got
Right.
some,
Any more comments?
Stay safe.
Yeah,
And
and
you.
you all, and you as well. We'll see everybody. Yes, that's it. Exactly. Let's see what's going to be happening at 7 o'clock. So that'd be good.
Be interesting.
Okay. Shall we all go and have a cup of tea and say our goodbyes?
So if you want to say goodbye, I've got an outro to go out with this. So yeah, thanks guys for watching. And so we actually watched 2.5 hours. Really well done, guys. Bye.